the wonderful Lucas, talking about the MMX.
All right.
Let's go. Have fun. Go at it. Go
Re-
at it. Do it. Applause.
Reheating talks.
All right. Thank you all for coming. So yes, the talk is the amazing marble machine, and Lucas added a subtitle while playing music with marbles is kind of a bad idea, which was the second line that was ever written in this presentation ever. So it's the main idea behind it. No, that's not true. Yes, it is. So first of all, who am I? So I'm that guy, this guy, same one, pointing his root. Dr. Skunk is my nickname because of, I don't know why. I work for television, TV, as a software developer. I've been doing that for 6 years now. I've worked with some other YouTubers as well, besides Wintergatan. This guy is famous in Belgium with the crazy eyes, a typical Belgian trait. And he built this specific part a few years ago for Martin. And you can see it in one of his videos like this. I also work with a different small YouTube channel named Linus Tech Tips. That's the other one.
Always forget them.
I always forget them, yeah.
So
Always forget it,
unimportant.
yeah. But most importantly, we're here for one YouTube guy, and that's the Wintergatan. But you, normally in this part of the presentation, I ask who knows Wintergatan. I think that's not a wise question to ask here.
Who doesn't know Wintergatan?
Who doesn't know Wintergatan? Okay, some
The
of
video team.
some of the crew. But yeah, we're not here for more Wintergatan, more here for this guy, Martin Molen, the front band leader of the Swedish Folktronica band from Gothenburg. And more specifically for this kind of thing that passed all our YouTube feeds in 2016, like the original marble machine. I think we can skip this.
Who knows? If we skip all the known stuff, the talk's like half the length.
So yeah, I haven't seen that video yet, but I think everyone has. It's a good one. So it came
If
out
they
in-
haven't, why are they here?
Yeah,
Like, how did you get here?
I heard the burritos are really good. So yeah, that's the thing that was shown in the video, the original marble machine. It's, as of moment, almost 230 million views on YouTube. Martin has 2.6 million subs almost. I have a small note here that says a lot of work has been gone into it. I believe Martin said he planned to do it in 2 months, and it took forever, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the recording alone is like...
Finished in 2 years, yes. But yeah, the original music video took about a month and a half to film. Like a very rigorous editing by Hannes as well, a lot of work by Martin. And it took a few weeks to edit. So...
Weeks? Month?
A few months to edit, yeah.
16 days. Why do we have this talk? We can't just ask the crowd. Like, who knows this?
We don't ask for questions in the audience, we ask for facts from the audience.
Yes.
Do you agree with this fact? Yes, I see some nodding, I see some shaking of the heads, but no worries. We can just forget about it.
The savior.
It's
The savior is coming.
the savior is coming. We call it the Marble Machine X. Martin dropped everything, of course. This was the first time it was really a more international thing, like we saw maybe in the previous talk we did about the E-team. We first drew it digitally. It ran about from 2017 until 2022, and then that's also not maybe the top most quality. So why do we call it a fail? Because the original goal for Martin was to go on a world tour with the machine, to go with thousands of people in the stadium. So because of the amazing efforts of the community, we got it running to play the original Marble Machine song. But that's about as much as we can
Applause for that, by the way.
Sorry?
It's running. It's freaking running.
For the first time ever running by volunteers, it's absolutely amazing. But in the perspective of going on a world tour, it's a fail. So that's why we have a third question mark, and we all saw Martin working on it in his studio. And if you haven't seen the sketch for a third machine, it looks a little bit like this.
Maybe.
Maybe. So
We'll
it's
see.
like an idea child. But yeah, he started on it in 2022, and it will be finished soon, trademark. But yeah. So this is in the big lines the journey so far, but more on how the museum came to be here in Rüdesheim. I'm going to give the word to Lucas Wendel. You may know him. Please give a hand.
Now, who here does know me? Not even my sister. Great. I don't want to know you. So everyone who might not know me, I'm a huge nerd. I'm a tinkerer by trade. I use Arch, by the way, with rare exceptions. And I still think caring for the marble machine is a good idea. Most of the time. I'm part of the third generation with the other part sitting right there. Last time we did this talk, my father was in the crowd, so he got the couldn't hide. We were found 1969 by our grandfather Siegfried Wendel, and we are a museum for self-playing, data storage-driven mechanical music instruments. We by now have over 400 plus instruments, with a couple even standing here awaiting restoration. If you're wondering before, that's Hupfeld theater organ up there, the only remaining one. Maybe if you have to, don't know what to do with your free time within seasons, you still have a marble machine to fix. There's still another one. So on the question on how did the marble machines end up here, maybe a short question. Who has programmed before here? Show of hands. Nice. So maybe you know, if you start a program and write for weeks, months, every little detail, function by function, and then it's getting to be this complex monster of a system. And at some point, you find a GitHub project, long forgotten, fixing every single darn thing you wanted to try and do. That must be about how Martin felt around 2020 when he visited the Musikkabinett.
So cool to see how they actually solve the same problems that I have. And I'm amazed I didn't do like more historical research.
He still doesn't. But that still doesn't really explain how the marble machine ended up at our space, because that was only first contact. But then also around 2020, everyone had some spare time, maybe rewatching old videos, including a marble machine. I got the idea, man, why is this thing rotting away in the shed in southern France? That thing belongs to the museum. Wait a minute. We are the darn museum this thing belongs to. So I ended up asking Martin, hey, this thing you have in your shed that's standing there since a couple of years, could we have that? And he said, yeah, I think it's starting to mold, but sure. But 2 weeks later, it turns out he might have a different idea.
You will no longer control my life. You will now control Lucas Wendel's life.
That still leaves the question, why us? For anyone who doesn't know the term of a data storage music instrument, there are many instruments, even before the marble machines, that use some storage media to control their music. And we even categorized them, so we didn't even need Max to do that for us. And the marble machines just fit right into the other pinned barrel orchestrons we have. So by now, they're for us known as I611 and I612. Also removes any confusion about what marble machine. So, but still, why a museum? It's a marble machine. It's supposed to world tour. It was proven to be great. Or was it? Well, the thing is, it works by now even way better than we ever imagined, but it doesn't really work for touring. Even just moving the darn thing to Nerdland Festival, where we were earlier this year, I would rather move 10 orchestrons that are way heavier instead of moving one marble machine. It barely fits into the truck, and we still need to build a box, I guess, because there's still the idea of having it touring, even though we noticed moving it is difficult. Just not a tour of the musical stages, but exhibitions. So if you know someone, a museum, maybe even a hackerspace or other space that would have the space and resources to partake in a world tour, feel free to reach out. Then what's the problem for the machine to not go on a musical tour? Well, let's start with transportation. It was recently tested within Nerdland, and even though the idea of putting it in different boxes, like moving it in sections, was also proven to still somewhat work when it got here, there are still no attachment points, so even if you can get it apart, you still don't have a way to lift it off. If you find a way to lift it off, you still can't put it down because there are no feet on there, so you just start bending any arms. And even if you just move it in one piece like we did, it's such an odd shape where you can't trust anything to keep the whole force of a machine, that you start ending up creating creative structures like a trunk for the marble machine, so you can actually ratchet strap it down. It's still also pretty top heavy, so if you don't fix it correctly or just want to move it, you have to care for it not tipping over, which is also a reason when you saw the video of us moving it over here, there will always be people standing beside it and it will be clamped to the forklift itself. And also, it's just darn heavy in general. Like, it's top heavy, it's bulky, and you have no good way of lifting it, but let's make it heavy as well, and probably even have a small door in front. The next thing would be the marble ring lift. If you saw the machine in Hall 1, we by now, Margaret and Ellie, devised a plan of fixing it, and the problem is the ratio is off, or at least by now was off, since the lower ring lift ended up moving more marbles than the upper one could take up, which is a problem if there's a brittle piece of 180 degrees bent plastic you can't really easily change. Ellie's nodding. And that starts bursting because there's just too much pressure going in and not going out. The lifting of marbles with magnets also is really nice. It looks great, but you end up magnetizing them, so you end up needing more features to demagnetize them down the path. It's hard to clean, especially since Martin found this great graphite powder. And the transitions from Marble Ring Lift to the Marble Ring Lift 2 are really tight. The bend is difficult to do, which is why it's been redone completely. And even though all those problems are, and it looks great, it's still not fast enough. You can't feed enough marbles up to end up at the BPM that was envisioned previously. But to get to the back to the question Martin asked me previously in this presentation, does it control my life? I don't really think so, because in the end I found a huge community to move mountains with. You already saw throughout the whole event, this whole event wouldn't be possible at all without any volunteers. And we did this talk for the Nerdland Festival, but since I kind of forgot to schedule for ending talk, I'll just move it here. I have to have huge shout out for our volunteers. They've been working for a week ahead to get the halls prepared for you all to partake. My sister, together with Doro, just saved my butt. There wouldn't be anything here if they weren't there to take up the organization. And the whole idea of this event started with Fox. So if you're wondering why there's a Blame Fox sticker, when in doubt, just use it for this. He suggested at some point in the Discord we should meet in real life. Like, we're a bunch of people, we must meet somewhere. So let's find places. We looked for places, maybe Utrecht, maybe something else. But then later it was known, hey, the Marble Machines will be here. We have halls. So we basically cheated by just luring everyone here. And our plan is to do it again. You know, because you're sitting in the redo right now, we maybe should have changed that from the presentation now that I think of it. And please give a warm round of applause for everyone helping around here. You wouldn't be sitting here and enjoying your stay if it weren't for them. So please thank them. It's just crazy the amount of work they do. Also, video team, I see you in the background. You're also men. Thank you. We had the E-team talk before, so I'm not sure if this will yield any much results, but any questions?
If not, I don't know if I'm live.
Do we have a microphone?
Yeah, we have a microphone, yeah. Also, if there are questions afterwards, we'll be running around, so please, if you see us, do not bother us, just leave it, no. Just talk to us, we'll be happy to answer them.
I think he's slower than me, so...
Yeah, we'll be indifferent to answering them. Wait, what? No, please, absolutely, we're here to answer any questions you have.
Okay, so my question is, do you anticipate for the machines to stay in the museum for a while? And will they be able to be seen as a part of the normal museum tour, maybe at some point?
We have the goal to display them in the museum. It's unlikely that will be incorporated into the normal museum tour because 2 generations before me already made sure we won't have space to include it in the regular tour. But currently we're looking at some space accessible from the outside, so even people that don't necessarily buy a ticket or just have a couple of minutes can go there and enjoy the machines as we know them. Any more questions?
Cool.
If not,
then thank you for being here. Thank you for enjoying our talk, I hope. And yeah, see you around. See you next year.
Stop.